Hi dear friends, today we'll be taking you with us on a gastronomic experience. We traveled to Istanbul for 2.5 days and we ate everything that we could, all the street food that you can imagine. So come along on a journey with us to see what we ate in Istanbul. We were more than 60 people in the bus. The weather got cloudy, but it's always nice to see nature from the window. We spent the night in the bus and in the morning the clouds decided to make us company. There were massive buildings at the entrance to Istanbul, but also hilly suburbs with beautiful mosques. We finally got to the center where our accommodation was, flashy, chaotic and loud. We had a romantic view over the window and some birds that came to avoid the rain. It's going to rain, but that will not stop us from discovering Istanbul. Despite the weather, there were people everywhere. First, we decided to have a naturally squeezed juice. We opted for pomegranate. Turkey has sweet and delicious pomegranates. You can decide for a mix as there were a high variety of fruits. This was the end product, so let's try it. The perfect start of the day. On the way, we saw baklavas. All kinds that you can imagine, but we decided to try them later as our stomach was craving for savory. Simit stalls were everywhere, but the smell from chestnuts stole our attention. You know we love chestnuts. They were big and looked fresh, so there was no chance to miss this opportunity. Just look how delicious they look. Let's try. Looking for a place to sit and have decent breakfast, we passed through the crowded Bazaar. I love how you see people everywhere, despite the cold and rainy weather. We finally found a local bakery. They sold baklava, but also traditional pastry. Yes! First, we had burek with cheese and ayran, which is Turkish yogurt. We also have burek in Macedonia, but this cheese was above our expectations. It was soft and chewy and the puff pastry was crunchy. Okay, time for sweet. First, baklava with walnuts, then baklava with pistachio. Both were delicious and much less sweet than the ones we have in Macedonia. Coffee is the food for my soul, and this one was a traditional piece of heaven. We were guided by a smell of fish, and we know Istanbul is famous for its fish sandwich. Of course, pickled veggies go great with grilled fish. On the coastline, there were a few street restaurants and all of them were full. Yes, we definitely have to eat here too. All they sold was a grilled fish sandwich, or balik ekmek. For my taste, it had too much onion, the fish was bitter, and I was missing more veggies or some kind of spread. So, despite the fame, we were not impressed. I loved this view of local fishermen fishing on the bridge. After filling our stomachs with fish sandwich, we had a nice and long walk along the coastline. It was calming to look at boats coming on the shore, but we heard an intense noise coming from the other part of the bridge. It looks like there is a local market. It turned out it's a fish market. Flashing lights, all kinds of fish for extremely cheap prices, and we were the only foreigners. This was a truly local place. I just love fish and seafood. If only we could take some with us. But imagine having it in the bus for more than 12 hours. We've been walking for 8 hours straight. It's time for baklava. We got to know about this place from a local. And of course, we treated ourselves with more than we needed. All baklavas had a strong taste of butter and cheese, crunchy outside and soft inside. This is heaven. We walked more until we smelled seafood. Stuffed mussels with rice and Turkish spices. Oh yes, please. Also, delicious, even though they were not so fresh, admit. Next, we felt like calming our stomachs with something nice and hot. Time for grilled corn. This corn was extremely sweet, and it went perfectly with the added salt. On the way, we caught ourselves again in some local market. It smelled like something I was hoping to see all day. Kunefe, a sweet cheese pastry wrapped in kadaif. If you ask me, I would travel all the way to Istanbul again just to eat this. Lovely combination. Next, we found ourselves on a tiny street with low lights and local restaurants. I wish I remembered the name of the street. We ate the best street food here. First, we went for Lahmadzun, or Turkish pizza. This is how it's made. This tiny place was warm and cozy and had only 2 tables. We were the only guests. The staff was very friendly and they were certainly very good chefs. Lahmacun done in less than 5 minutes, straight from the stove. I cannot describe in words how tasty this was. We noticed a local barber on the way, and Koska immediately had an urge to make Turkish moustache. It starts with a brief massage. While the other guy was sweeping the floor from hair, the barber was getting Koska prepared. He was very swift but also multitasking, watching the local news while taking care of Koska's moustache. Almost done. And final touches, making sure all hair is gone, including in the ears. This is the end result. Not bad at all. On the way back, we spotted a local restaurant selling pide. It turned out to be the best one we ever tried. We ended the day with the garbage collectors late into the night. Time for a good night's sleep, after 12 hours of walking and eating. The next day, we got up early, but Istanbul had been awake for quite a while. We decided to just walk without any plans and eat whatever comes on our way. We passed through a local meat market. This is definitely not my thing, but most Turkish food is based on meat. Still, there are lots of vegetarian and even vegan options. The cheese market next to it was more of my thing. We were the only foreigners in this area. Some of the buildings were falling apart, and people were still living there. Walking up on a hill, we spotted a baklava place. This was the best local baklava ever. It was the cheapest of all, but it was fresh and authentic. No butter, but you could feel Turkey through its taste. Going down to Balat, streets started to feel different. Houses were colorful and better maintained. We were approaching a tourist area. Balat is an extremely tourist place. While seeing all those colorful houses and arrangements is beautiful, we liked much better to wander around local streets. Still, we decided to go to a cozy place as the rain was getting much harder and we needed a sip of coffee and salep. This place had cats everywhere. Our cat was not particularly friendly, but she was acting as if she wanted the table all for herself. Just look at the toilet here. You're literally going inside of an old-fashioned fridge. As the sky was getting clearer, we decided to walk at the dock and look at the local boats. Then we went to Taksim Square, the most crowded place in Istanbul. We were hungry again and it was cold, so we decided to go for lentil soup and some traditional Turkish food in a local restaurant. The lentil soup was okay, but not the best one I tried in Turkey. But the sarma was much better. We felt like eating more, so we decided to try the famous stuffed potato. They first put some cheese inside and whisk until the consistency is smooth. And then you decide what filling you want. We opted for a veggie option with couscous, olives, and sour cream sauce. It looked amazing. However, it didn't taste so good. I felt like ingredients were missing more spices and the couscous was a bit too sour. For the end of the day and before we began our long journey back home, we decided to go to a local Turkish bath. Kosta and I were separated as there are different areas for men and women. This is how it looked like in the inside. Rugged but very cozy and warm. Of course, I couldn't film the procedure, but for the ones that don't know, Turkish bath includes relaxing in a hot room, rinsing with hot water, rubbing with a scrub, bubbly massage, and rinsing and repeating the process. Some find it a bit uncomfortable as you're almost naked, but I found it extremely relaxing and satisfying. I hope you enjoyed our culinary experience. Even though it was raining all day long, we think that we enjoyed every single bit of Istanbul, especially the food. So, see you next time. Bye!
Ama çekiyor aşağıya bakın.
Hi dear friends. Culinary experience through Istanbul, especially having in mind blah 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 blah. We decided to go on a two and a half day